Yeah. Yeah. You know what it is. That straight kingdom talk, baby. You know how I'ma do it. Right. And I ain't going nowhere. 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 So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Watch me hit him with this 1-2 knockout KO. This time it's all or nothing, and I ain't playing around. They tried to overlook me cause I wasn't in the in crowd. Well, I'm back at it, so you know what's going down. And I'm all up in their face, so they gotta see me now with that raw lunch. Yo, what's good, everybody? How y'all doing?
Enjoyed it for that second. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's a 5-4 Friday up in her. What is going on? I am
What is
your
up, everybody?
boy,
Happy Friday,
Mr.
everybody.
Fivestar. And I'm here with a gang of other people. My usual cast and crew. What's going on, Mr. Fish, Ryan, and Fee? How are y'all doing?
What is up, Mr. Fivestar? Good to see you, man. Glad you're here. Glad to be here myself.
What up, Giovanni? Javon?
What's
Hey,
up,
man.
Jay, man? What's up, Javon?
What's good?
Jay,
Ryan,
Jay.
you all right, brother?
I'm fucking tired. I'm not even gonna front. I am fucking exhausted. I literally got off work at 5:45, jumped in the shower.
I took a solid cat nap before I got here.
Yeah.
and,
I walked in my
and
door 2 minutes, like, 3 or 4
I didn't
minutes
get out of
ago.
work. I didn't get out of work until 5:45. I'm tired. I'm tired.
Sorry to hear that, buddy.
Wait, if I didn't say it, I'm tired.
I'm so glad that I woke up before this because, like, I was literally chilling here. You guys would have seen me, like, laying down here. The show would have started, and I just would not have stood up yet until, like, later.
Oh, by the way, I'm Fee. Glad to be
I'm
here.
so glad I'm so full of energy considering the fact I woke up at, like, 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. 4 a.m. club.
You traveling?
I was a six
Ready down in Atlanta.
6:30 kid this morning.
4 a.m. at the gym. Too much saving the world. Shh, shh, shh.
We don't talk about that.
Don't give away the secret identity,
It's so much for that.
Well, anyways, we're all glad to be here, whether we're tired, traveling, whatever we got going on. We're excited because it's a 5-Star Friday, and that means we get to hang out with y'all. And that's important to us. Very important to us. So, Brian Robinson picked the topic for today. And I gotta say,
there were two,
but
we chose on one.
There was two. We can hit on the other. I don't even
cool
care.
with whatever because
we can hit on both. Dope. If you're gonna be a baby about it.
Oh my!
This bitch.
This. Happy Friday, everybody!
Yeah.
Where things don't change and the pettiness doesn't stop.
I'm sorry, Ryan. You can come back. It's okay. So today we're talking about Spider-Man villains. Arguably one of the greatest rogue galleries of all time. People put it up there with, Batman's rogue gallery or the Flash's rogue gallery or just some of them other big rogue galleries. Spider-Man, like I said, arguably the best rogue gallery there is.
No.
I'm going to start this off with the obvious question. Where do you rank
Gene?
Where do you rank the overall
Billy Jean? I'm just kidding.
Spider-Man's villains, his rogue gallery? Where do you rank it? Is it your number one? Or is there some that are ahead of it?
It'd be my number two.
I was gonna say it's my number one. I like.
Who's above it?
Batman. Batman's rogue gallery is more psychological, more threatening. They
Okay.
yeah, I feel like Batman is up there. It would probably be Batman, and then Spider-Man. And then probably 3 would be Daredevil's Rogue Gallery because he's more of a grounded character.
To J-Man's point, I just love your mannerisms of how you ponder. It starts at the face, it goes to the hands, it starts with the swivel of the chair, and then the nodding of the head to confirm.
Exit the damn building. Exit the building.
The most opinionated man in comics, Javon.
Oh, Javon. I was like, what?
I could be tempted to agree sometimes. Like, I think it gets overhyped.
Oh my god.
I think it's more.
Oh my god, guys. Oh my god.
I think he's an awesome villain.
We gotta say
I
his
don't
name
necessarily
3
think
times to
he's
make
the
him
best
appear
one
again.
ever of all time, but I think he's pretty awesome.
Okay.
I'm kind of torn because, like, I love Batman as a character, and he's one of my favorites. And he's in that category of, like, you could pretend to be him if you tried hard enough. I can't get bit by a spider and become Spider-Man. And I love the Iron Man and, Batman and stuff where, like, if you pretend hard enough, like, I could figure out how to make a suit that flies, or, like, you could potentially be them if you tried hard enough. Like, I'm never going to be able to, see with echolocation like Daredevil.
Okay. J-Man, what's your number one?
Daredevil's my 3, bro. And X-Men, I don't know. X-Men is difficult with me.
I put X-Men up there, probably in my top 5 for sure.
Oh yeah, top 5 for sure. I would have
and then,
to
you
put
got
Spidey
other DC, you got some other good DC villains out there too. I've heard people put the Flash's rogues up there.
The Flash's rogues are interesting. They're charismatic. They're a totally different thing, and they're unique to him, and they fit him so well. And I really dig that.
Sophie, you didn't answer the question. Where do you rank the Spider-Man rogues? Where are they at on your list?
Well, Tony, I actually already answered it, but I said he's like my number one. I like.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you over everybody else.
That happened a lot. It's okay though.
Wow.
Damn.
I like the variety.
Not really.
In Spider-Man's rogues.
That's okay.
Like,
this one?
Batman's got a whole lot of crazy people in his, and that's scary and dramatic and more, mental. But, like, I like the variety. I like, Scorpion and Kingpin being so very different than Sandman and Mysterio, and, like, there's so many difference, but so many, like, science-based and animal-based and just scary, like,
I do.
the Green Goblin.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
I dig it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Ranking it is tough. I'm gonna have to even though there's some people on here saying that, there's some Batman's rogues are overrated. I gotta put Batman over Spider-Man villains.
Okay.
Mainly because the Penguin is one of my favorite villains of all time. He represents the short, fat guys of America.
Fat power.
So I roll with that. So I'm gonna go with I'm going Batman over Spider-Man, but Spider-Man is up there too. Spider-Man's definitely in the top 3. Now that I think about it, I would probably say my top 3 is Batman, Spider-Man, and X-Men.
X-Men has a good rogues gallery. Magneto is crucial.
Yeah, X-Men's up there. X-Men's my number 2. Number 3 though.
But number 3 is my Daredevil. I love Daredevil. So he doesn't have like a majors rogue gallery like Spider-Man or like.
Well, and they kind of intertwine a bit.
Yeah, a lot of villains intertwine.
Yeah. I can agree. And J-Man brought up a great point. Just not thinking of the big 2. G.I. Joe does have some amazing villains. He-Man, Masters of the Universe has some
amazing and some really goofy ass ones, but some amazing ones. And like the new He-Man story that they're doing for kids is reimagining some of those goofier characters, like the mosquito character is so badass as a villain.
What's up, Katie? What's up, Facebook user?
I love it.
What's up, Katie?
Oh, Katie, what's up?
So yeah, so everybody, that's good. We at least see where everybody's ranked, and I would say if it wasn't your top 1, it's in your top 3. So everybody is in agreement on that level. People in the comments are putting Batman over it a lot. Besides Javon. Javon says they're pretty top tier. I would agree. He has some amazing villains. Out of those villains, though, if you had to pick one that really just resonates with you, and it's just your favorite. I'm not talking about this one's the strongest. I'm not talking about this one's made the most impact. I'm talking about just who is your favorite Spider-Man villain.
I got you.
Fee, would you please go first? I would really enjoy if you did.
Absolutely, Tony, of course. My favorite is the Green Goblin. And the only reason why I say that is because of Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. I just adore the acting of how Green Goblin was portrayed in that.
Okay.
I'm not going to say I resonate with him like I'm crazy or something. However, I just love the...
Like split personality.
It's the whole split personality.
Exactly. And the acting of that. Like that mirror scene is so cool because of how dynamic and how quick the instant of the switch is. Like I love that so much because I always like looking at those little type of
I've seen that in you
little golden nuggets because of like how they do it and stuff. So come again?
Huh?
That was cute. It's like you said something under your breath.
No, I can see that resonating with you.
Oh, yeah, funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
I love Norman Osborn, and that's why I like the Green Goblin. But I love Norman, I would say probably more than Green Goblin, but that is why I would go with the Green Goblin. It's because of Norman.
Nice. Mr. Ryan.
My favorite villain?
Spider-Man villain.
Kraven.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, since you brought up Kraven. Kraven's a great villain. Great villain. Who the freak asked for a solo Kraven movie, Ryan? Did anybody ask for that? As a Kraven fan, did you ask for that?
No. That wouldn't be my Kraven anyway. I don't understand why Sony continue to make these early popcorn 2000 movies that expect people to draw a crowd when Spider-Man's not even remotely in these movies. My problem with these movies are the rogues gallery, having all these heroes be anti-heroes, vigilantes. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't get it, but that's not my reason. Kraven in the books, Kraven the Last Hunt, Kraven is a killer. And that's the reason why I enjoy him he's a killer. Stone killer.
And he like hunts and kills animals.
He's not out to beat Spider-Man. He's not out to show that he's smarter or tougher. He wants to kill him.
Yeah, he wants to kill him. He's for the hunt.
Yeah, and he's in the comics he's portrayed as a nasty guy. Like he's not this like, I think in the one of the funniest lines in the movie trailer was like, "My father puts evil in this world, so I take it out." Like, no,
all this anti-hero bullshit. This is why I don't like the Venom movies. Like, I just can't get with it. Morbius was absolute garbage.
Yeah,
behind these movies.
I liked Morbius until like the last quarter of it, and then it's just like. This doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like I was with it up until that turn, and then I was just I don't get it.
For me, if the Kraven movie, if I watched that trailer and it was like this isn't a Kraven movie, this is just something else.
That's what it should be, something else.
Like I would watch that movie. Like that movie, that trailer does not look bad. That looks interesting, but it's not Kraven.
Yeah.
If that movie was called,
when they pitched the idea, I thought it sucked. When I saw the trailer, I was like, "This looks pretty awesome." I'm willing to give it a shot now, and I wasn't before.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm not here for none of it. I don't.
That's interesting, Fish. That's
None of
very
it is.
interesting.
It's all trash. Like I wish Aaron Taylor Johnson stopped making like shit films. Like,
And he's in. What's sad is he's
a
actually
phenomenal actor too. That's
he's
what
a-
really pisses me off.
yeah, he's a talented actor.
Yeah.
When they said that he was playing Craven, I was like, okay, he's got range. I could see it. But like when you start adding these just elements of the movie that are out of nowhere, like he uses animals, he doesn't hunt them, he uses them, and then you got the whole lion blood, and then I'm just like, what?
Stupid. It's
What's
stupid.
really
Why do all these people have to have powers? Like,
going
Kraven
on?
have powers. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't get any of it. But
Right.
in regards to villains for Spider-Man, Kraven's up there for me. But it'll probably be followed by I really like Hobgoblin. I enjoy.
Dude.
Yeah.
I love Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin is really, really dope.
Hobgoblin is so much cooler to me than Green Goblin.
Same here.
Just looks badass.
There's a lot of cool villains. I loved Hydro Man. I thought it was goofy. For me, it's just like, but Doc Ock is like a close second. Doc Ock is my second favorite villain in the world.
Oh,
yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah.
For me, and I know, I agree with what Javon just said.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's kind of like
they killed Venom.
No, I just dig villain. I dig Venom. I love Venom as a villain. I love Eddie Brock. I dig the look of Venom, and when he's all badass and his tongue's hanging out and it's all slimy and it's like villain Venom. What they've done with Venom here lately, I hate, and it becomes this thing that they do with certain characters. Deadpool, Venom, Harley Quinn. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they become popular.
Hero shit, like even Black Adam with these movies, like all this anti-hero stuff, I can't stand.
They become popular and they want to switch them around, and I'm like, it's okay, like they don't have to be that. They can just
be a bad guy.
Yeah. It's like I don't know what executive keeps worrying that maybe we should just put a little bit of a hero.
You don't have to do that. Venom, villain Venom is my favorite Spider-Man villain. Doc Ock is definitely up there.
That's
Doc Ock is a beast.
Yeah.
Love Doc Ock.
That's why they do it.
Exactly why they do it. All it has to do with the money, for sure.
Right.
It's the money grab. It's how much can we and I mean,
you know they're not out
Wolverine.
Here
They've done it with Wolverine. Like they just pick
a
few characters and they just want to put them in your face on everything. You know, that's to me, that's what's kind of ruined the X-Men movies. Is they wanted to force you like that Wolverine's the guy, so they just messed up so much story elements that could have went dope. And they just wasn't trying to force that Wolverine's the guy. And then they try to do it with Mystique, and it's like, why are you doing this? Like, why is this happening? Like, this doesn't make any sense.
There you go.
Well, see, the focus group said,
yeah,
we gathered a group of people at a mall on a Saturday morning and paid them $20, and they told us that Mystique's awesome, so we need to put her on.
They told us that Mystique's awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
They would never lie to us.
So, did you say who your favorite villain is in Spider-Man, Tony?
Venom.
Yeah, Venom.
Like you were going through the ones you liked, but
no, Venom was my favorite. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's right. You did say that. Like, I agree with what Javon was saying about Hobgoblin. Like everything about his look ends up making him look cooler than Green Goblin. Green Goblin looks a little bit silly. Almost, and I know he is, a second character after Green Goblin, but it's almost like, you got to take a second pass at this character and say, let's give it another shot. And I just love the way Hobgoblin came out looking. I love so many characters in Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery so much.
Yeah, I mean,
from the freaking Lizard to the Sandman to
Rhino,
Kingpin to Rhino. Oh, dude, to Stiltman to really obscure dudes like the Ringer. But like when it comes down to it, my absolute favorite and I always debate over it, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I forgot about the Beetle, and the Beetle freaking rocks, and I love him. And he's like, this badass evil Iron Man with this cool suit that's got the wings and the flying and the shooting lasers and stuff. And I particularly love it when the artists have like thought through how his gear works, and like if he like one of my favorite artists that was doing him, in the 80s would be like, when his hands like this, he's shooting this beam. When he does his hands like this, it connects and makes a different ray. And like I dig the fact that they were thinking through like how the equipment works and stuff, and having to get his armor repaired and having to go steal a suit of armor from the tinkerer's shop because the tinkerer got arrested and his suit was in there and he's got to break in and get it. And I just freaking love that, man. I would follow a Beatles series all freaking day long. From watching him like plan the heists to getting a team together to doing it to getting double crossed, trying to get the take back to just it'd be so cool, man.
There was a cartoon.
It'd be so awesome.
There was a cartoon. I can't remember what the cartoon was called. It was one of the later on Spider-Man cartoons, and he was a villain, like a reoccurring villain in that cartoon. And like Taskmaster put together a team, and he was on it. He was pretty dope in that. And I like when Taskmaster's
was that was the Silent Beetle too, right? The one where like he never talked.
Oh, I can't remember. But it's the one because he's had costumes where he's like been like green and purple, and then he's had other costumes where he's like silver and red. Right? We're talking about the same person?
I don't remember silver and red. I remember, mostly purple and green suits. Doesn't mean that he didn't maybe have.
Well, I do have it. I know he does because I have an action figure of that.
There we go.
But that might have just been for that cartoon, where they kind of, updated the suit a little bit. But he is a cool character. I agree. So he's had, tons of villains. I'd love to see some of your guys' favorite Spidey villains. Carnage, Carnage is cool. I tend to.
Ryan almost disappeared.
I don't like Carnage as much as I like Venom, and then they get carried away. It's like there's like 20 different symbiote, offsprings now, and there's just it's like,
anti-venom and all this stuff, which looks cool, but like you just going nuts with all the symbiotes, and it just got a little too far. And then they'll turn around and do something cool with it, like Agent Venom was really cool to me. Like I really
I liked Agent Venom.
That whole
was
idea.
Cool. I liked it. I like that it was Flash too. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
That they made that Flash. So as far as amazing. You're completely right, Javon. I collected a lot of those covers. One of his covers is actually what that is. So we talked about your favorite, but as villains, who do you think has had the most impact? Who do you think is really for one had an impact on Spider-Man stories and has kind of pushed, Spider-Man to that point, or just overall has had just the biggest impact?
Norman Osborn is his number two. That is his Joker.
Yeah.
So Green Goblin is the Joker to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think the othermost person who has the most impact on Spider-Man will probably be Doc Ock.
He can cosplay whatever he wants to.
See, that's the thing. I think over history of Spider-Man, Doc Ock and Kingpin probably have had more impact overall. But who's had the biggest overarching impact on his story, I think, is Green Goblin back in the beginning, because killing Gwen Stacy is such a huge, big thing for the character, and nobody else has outdone that. Only taking away his marriage with Mary Jane equals what they did right there in that movie.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious to why, Javon, you say Venom is the most impactful. Um, Maybe are you going like popularity wise, or you just stuff from the story? I'm just curious. I'm not
Are you going to
arguing.
mention the symbiote, Javon?
I don't want to start an argument or anything. I just was.
I mean, once Venom got cool and took off, man, it became freaking symbiote season, and it's been
Yeah,
a huge impact since then. Like
yeah,
it's been a major one. Like
very popular.
he's
I
what
mean,
most people think of as the bad guy to
yeah,
Spider-Man now,
mm,
and I gotta agree that was a huge impact. I I still think of all the history before that as being just as much as since, but it's made such a big change since that
yeah.
part of me being old.
You're good. I mean, I want to say Norman as well. I mean, Norman's done a lot of like fucked up stuff
Hmm.
to Peter Parker.
And then when you go through all the different iterations and all the different ways they've
Yeah,
told the story and all the different animated series and stuff, like he's been a huge
and they made him
impact
absolutely
on the
just
story.
as ruthless in the movies. You know, he was ready to off Aunt May, that poor little old woman in Spider-Man One, and then he comes back and
Kills
what is it?
Ant
No
Man.
Way Home. Is it No Way Home? Far From Home? Never Been Home? Can't Find My Home? Whatever home.
Damn.
Homeward Bound,
Homeward Bound.
Milo Notice. That was what he was in.
Home on
Milo
the
Notice.
Range. Anyways,
Land
he's
Before Time.
absolutely ruthless in that one, and the
Yeah.
character switch of his
Yes.
personality when he switches, like it's just gold.
So yes, and the fact that he's still sickening, like when he comes in on Aunt May, and, like at home, and he's just like finish it. It's like I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid when I saw that, like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All I could think is, how the hell did he hear that before he busted in the room? Like, how did he hear that
Technology
from
is helping or
outside?
Super
something. I
hearing,
don't know.
dog.
He's smart enough to figure something out.
He's got super hearing. He hears superly. Duh.
Green Goblin's just a
He
big
hears
creep with a
superly?
glider. That's what I think he is. Green Goblin's just a flying creep
hears
with a glider.
Superly hearing.
And he was
Ryan,
able to hear very well.
you look like you might be the next Spider-Man villain right down there. The way you are, just
I'm the Prowler.
The cloak.
He's he's like a cousin of the Sandman. He is the
Let me ask you guys this: Is
Blanket
the
boy.
Prowler
no, not boy.
is the Prowler Miles Morales' Green Goblin?
Mm,
What was the last word he said? He is what?
Is he
Is Prowler
the Green Goblin to Miles Morales?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Her ass old geezers.
Does Miles Morales really have an ultimate villain, though?
I feel like
In the
drawing
comics,
board
he
is
had
still
the
so
big
open for
giant
him to be
bowed up
revealed.
Green Goblin,
Well, wait,
didn't he?
Yeah,
well,
all
wait,
the
I don't
ultimate
wanna spoil
versions of
it.
the
Never
villains
mind.
where you got like
Technically, right?
you get like
Then
the
he have like
Have you seen the
there's
movie?
alternate different like
Have you seen the movie?
Spider-Man villains? Like didn't he have like a Green Goblin character?
Yeah, like big, massive.
yeah, all, it was
horns
like
and-
horns. He's like super horned up. You've seen if he was in the movie.
Yeah, I've seen the movie, but I'm talking like comic.
Yeah, he had the ultimate version of Green Goblin is like a hulked up version of Green Goblin.
Yeah.
And then Hobgoblin has like the wings and a like flaming sword and yeah. So he
Brian,
does.
did you see the movie?
Yeah, I've seen the movie.
You did?
What, the second one?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, okay. Never mind.
I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, that's what I was saying when I
Need
said
that
like
nerd card. Thank you very much.
a real nemesis. Well, that's what I was just saying because it kind of feel like it reveals that,
Nope.
but you know.
I'm totally making a nerd card just so I can reach down and pull it out.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, wait, give me that back. We do little cool little segments where it's like we reach into each other's screen and like snatch it back.
So you guys don't agree with that? You don't put Prowler as Miles Morales' Green Goblin.
Not for me.
I don't think so. Just because
I think the Prowler is just a catalyst of him becoming Spider-Man.
But it's his uncle.
Yeah, I know. It's like his Uncle Ben now, bro.
Could be.
I'm trying to think of like
mm-hmm.
another character that's got like that criminal in the family kind of element to even allegory it to. You know,
I
like a
know.
lot
I
of us
know what his
have a
ultimate
criminal cousin,
his ultimate
but like
nemesis could be. His Spanish grades because he got in trouble. No, I'm just kidding. What?
how are you going to feel Spanish?
Mira. It's like, oh,
Trying to kill your mother.
So we've talked about this before in the MCU. Let's talk about MCU versus comics. They have had this problem with
you have time, Katie.
taking some of the lesser villains and really kind of jacking up their story a bit and making them not as cool. And sometimes they do the opposite of that. I'll give 2 examples. Vulture. I love what the MCU did with Vulture. You guys all know that. I've said it before.
Same here.
They gave another element.
They gave the Vulture purpose. That's
Yeah.
what I love about it.
On the opposite of that, Shocker. Completely ruined the character.
Oh, they screwed Shocker.
How do you think they've done overall with Spider-Man villains in cinema? And you can, give me some of your favorites.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the best comic book movie of all motherfucking time is Spider-Man 2, Sam. Spider-Man 2. That is the best comic book movie adaptation ever made. Still to this day. It has not been topped still to this day.
You said what?
Spider-Man 2.
Sam Raimi 2. Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of the best comic book adaptation movies of all time. Literally, of all time. I think a close second will probably be, the Infinity Saga. Like Infinity War and then Endgame. And then most people will probably say Captain America Winter Soldier, probably followed by Iron Man. But I think for me, like, that is primarily the quintessential comic book movie. But it's not part of the MCU. It is technically now part of the MCU due to No Way Home.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
so back to the question.
The MCU's Rogues Gallery and the MCU for Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
And film in general. It don't necessarily have to be MCU. It could be,
what they did in the MCU. Let's see. They have Mysterio. We have the Shocker. We have the Tinkerer. We have the Vulture.
Yep.
And we have an appearance of the Prowler. Glover made an appearance.
Electro.
We have everything from Spider-Man trilogy. We have Sandman, Doc Ock, Electro.
And
Sandman, they did well in Sam Raimi.
I would agree. Okay, so if we're just going down the list, Sandman.
I agree with that.
They did great. I think Sandman. They did a great job with Sandman.
Don't even bring up the movie Rhino. That just
hate it.
I love the Rhino, and that pisses me off.
Spider-Man 3 is garbage.
But you don't like. But you don't. Yeah, but you don't like. You don't like what they did with Sandman.
I hate it.
Oh, really?
I would say what they did with Hobgoblin and what they did with Venom was whack in those movies. But I would say Sandman.
Which movies was What was Hobgoblin?
Wasn't that who Harry was supposed to be with the half mask? Wasn't he supposed to be their Hobgoblin?
He was the new Goblin.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't considered. So whatever he was, it was whack.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it wasn't the Hobgoblin.
Yeah, it was whack. But I would say Sandman. I think they did right in that movie.
Yeah.
They ruined it once they started adding those other things like Venom and and
then making him the guy. That was unnecessary. But
They haven't done Venom right
they
yet.
They did Sandman cool.
I don't think they've done Venom right yet. Even in the Venom movies, Venom hasn't. It's not. I just don't. I'm not digging it. I don't think they did. They haven't done Carnage right. They haven't done Venom right.
Venom's vicious. Okay.
Personally, I don't think they've done justice to most of the Spider-Man villains right. Like Vulture is the only one that really got an increased uptick. Most all the other MCU villains in general kind of get a downgrade, like
it really kind of
just everybody.
Yeah.
From Crossbones to Batroc the Leaper to
most. That's what I'm saying. Unless you're like top tier, like Thanos or Ultron or Loki, they really
Thanos, Loki, they did good. But
they really kind of dropped the ball. I agree with that because it's like they're just trying to fit them in for the sake of fitting them in. So you get like these shitty, like half thrown together backstories, and they're not just done well. Instead of like, there was like multiple issues of comic books where that person was the villain that like made that villain what it is in the comics, not just he was a thrown in part of this movie just to say we added him in. So they've kind of dropped the ball when it comes to that. Green Goblin, he was great in that last movie. We said
like Green Goblin is overall probably he's the quintessential villain to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And what they did in No Way Home made him even more terrifying.
Yeah.
See, he was terrifying. That is the Green Goblin I've always wanted to see.
Yeah. We didn't get that Sam Raimi version.
No.
That version was terrifying.
Yeah.
Like he was terrifying.
Off his rocker.
He was crazy and terrifying and and I think for taking as goofy a looking character as Green Goblin and transferring him to the screen for the first time, I think Sam Raimi did as good a job as you're going to do. And
yeah,
I agree with
especially for that time, trying to make a blockbuster.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
But this version of Green Goblin was so much closer to what we all wanted and so much more brilliant. And the like having a bag to throw crap out of and like it just he was so cool.
It worked.
I even like the way he looked. I love the look of his costume.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that he didn't have a mask. The mask was his alter ego. How terrifying it was. The whole concept of that was genius.
Them just adding that overall, that little cloth piece over the metal suit just made the suit that much better.
And took it so much closer to the comics.
Yeah.
And made it so much scarier looking.
Mm-hmm.
And like it makes you realize like they could have done it right and done the look if they had just done it right. If you made it cool looking mechanical male that looks like it's some kind of power suit and then he had the rags over it, it's badass.
But what I would agree with the MCU, Spider-Man has literally only had 2 perfected villains for me. And that would be the Vulture. He was fleshed out. That was a fleshed out villain.
Fleshed out for sure.
He had purpose. He had a generalization of why he did what he did. And you could sympathize on why he did what he did. His team were just secondary characters like the Shocker.
Yeah, and they just kind of threw.
They shouldn't have been named the villains.
They just threw them in.
Tinkerer was fine, but the Shocker could have been left out completely. I think for me in Spider-Man 2, I don't really like Far From Home. It didn't work for me. Mysterio was cool, having a comic book accurate costume. I loved all that.
Yeah, costume was there.
But its purpose for me, I really didn't care for. It was like post Tony Stark bullshit that I really didn't need.
It was making about Tony Stark and not about Spider-Man.
Yeah, more of a Tony Stark movie. I hated it because it's post-death Tony Stark movie. That's what I call it. And then you have Far From No Way Home, where you get the quintessential Green Goblin. Like that was the real Green Goblin that everybody really wanted. So
Electro was closer to awesome than he's ever been. And I liked that Electro a lot better than.
And Doc Ock was Doc Ock, which was cool, but that was a Green Goblin movie.
Doc Ock wasn't too bad. I'd put him. I mean, at least on the better half than some of the others. Their version of Doc Ock wasn't too bad. Like I said, I hated what they did with Harry, and the new Goblin was really whack.
Amazing Spider-Man.
I wish I had a blanket. I'm like, dang, air is falling on me.
They really have dropped the ball on a lot of their versions of these Spider-Man villains. They're not really living up to.
Oh, and Taskmaster.
Oh yeah,
he screwed Taskmaster, and Taskmaster is such a badass. And I don't care if you make Taskmaster a woman. That'd be awesome.
No, that's not what messed it up.
That wasn't the issue.
Yeah, that's not what messed it up.
Goofy nerfed character, like.
Yeah. Oh, they've nerfed a lot of characters.
Oh, they have.
Man, Armin Zola would have been so badass to see with like a 60s TV screen in his chest and like, old school clunky, like Lost in Space robot in a deep sea suit or something. That could have been so badass other than a glitchy face on a screen. Like that turned him into just a barely there cameo.
Yeah,
I would say a body sitting in the chair that used to work or something.
I would say the Spider-Man cartoons have definitely done better justice for the villains, as far as making them.
Yeah, that's.
I even like the damn MTV cartoon back in the day.
Yeah, I just rewatched that whole thing.
Yeah.
Like the quintessential Spider-Man cartoons are pretty top tier. Even like the little kid ones, I even enjoy. Like they don't really get any of that wrong. I just think for me, live action, I don't know what the difficulty is of adapting shit. Mm-hmm. Like
it's funny because it's like
the material is there.
Yeah,
like,
it makes no sense.
It's that uncanny valley issue. Like it's the reality, the suspension of disbelief. It's easy when it's a cartoon and it's bright colors to be like, okay, well, he's wearing this goofy suit and he's swinging around and nobody sees him swing out of his Aunt May's, window. But like when it's a real dude swinging by in a real suit, it gets a lot harder to buy that, and that's
right.
And
they have to produce it globally to everybody. So that's another big issue. There, you want it just can't be produced for one general community. Like it has to be for everybody.
Yeah, and they want to just kind of sprinkle in, like we said with the Shocker, they sprinkle him in. And this is a well fleshed out, full character that's been a problem for Spider-Man before, and now he's just sprinkled in as this goon, pretty much, And by the way, just gets his gear like he's two different people in one movie. You know what I'm saying? Like he's one guy. He's like, oh, here you're the Shocker now. Like just totally just underwhelming.
I forgot they killed him. I forgot they killed Tom,
and then they
killed Tom Hardy's clone, and it went to what's his name?
Yeah. So it's just kind of whack the way that they've done that. The cartoons have done a lot better, but then they're going and they're trying to make these solo villain movies, and they're turning them all into anti-heroes, which just doesn't make sense.
Everyone can be a hero.
Like
everyone can want to be a hero, but is it going to be very entertaining to watch? Probably not. But for the sake of this,
the real problem is if you make a movie about a real villain, even if you try and make the point of the movie that this is a terrible person and you don't want to be like him, if you make him too good, like in Fight Club, everybody's going to come out of it being like, "Oh, dude, he was so awesome! I want to be Tyler Durden," and not like. Didn't you see the last half of the movie and how terrible this was? And they end up missing all that, forgetting it, and just thinking, "Oh man, he was badass," and wanting to be like him.
For Spider-Man 4,
What?
And let it be Tom Hardy's final Tom Holland's final movie. So we know that the symbiote was left in the final movie in No Way Home.
Right.
He gets the symbiote suit. Spider-Man's the villain. Miles Morales becomes the new Spider-Man. Tom Holland gets killed at the end of the movie. And Miles Morales is the only Spider-Man at that point.
And you could have it be like a redemption at the last minute thing, like maybe he was going to win and he jumps on the bomb or something when he realizes
they're not going to do that.
No, that's not going to happen.
That would be so cool.
I do think you're going to in Spider-Man 2, the video game. I do think you're going to be able to fight Peter Parker as Miles Morales because he's gonna,
Oh, that's definite. That's gonna be a definite.
So that'll be dope.
Yeah, that's gonna be like in the middle of the game, and then the symbiote splits off.
Yeah,
Venom you'll see Venom at that point.
Sure. Yeah, so that'll be cool. And Spider-Man 2, the video game, is giving us the Kraven that we want. He looks phenomenal in the game, and his story trailer was so dope. Yeah, that's the Kraven that we want. This Kraven that we need. Instead they're giving us this just a weird version of Kraven. I don't get it. I don't get the whole blood in the wound.
Oh, of course, J-Man. Of course, buddy. Like they're capitalizing as much as possible because they own the rights to Spider.
They're not fumbling a bag at all. We know that.
And if they don't make enough movies, they'll probably lose them.
All that fighting for what? Nope, they're not doing that. It's not going away.
No, they're going to continue to make split. I mean, like we have Madam Web coming out, a most obscure villain that they're making into a movie.
Why bring her out absent of the Spider-Verse? That's just ridiculous.
I don't understand, but they're going to continue to make these films more and more. We're getting another Venom movie. I'm sure we'll get a Black Cat movie down the road.
And then they throw in the Rhino in the Kraven movie, which I don't know.
I bet you that's going to be the villain. That's going to be the villain to Kraven. I guarantee.
How much you want to bet they screw it up?
Oh, they're definitely gonna screw it up. They've already screwed it up.
They've already screwed it, bro. You saw more.
No, I'm just saying. The Rhino himself encapsulated. They're gonna screw it up. I don't think.
He has Rhino skin, but I bet his design is going to look like straight
trash. It's gonna be trash. I can already tell.
It has designs that we already can expect.
And even the mech suit Rhino, I could design you 15 better mech suit Rhinos this afternoon, tonight before I go to bed, than what they ended up putting him in.
Strange.
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man, I know.
Strange how they. You got all these money and all these resources. Why are you fucking stuff up like this? It doesn't make sense.
All these years of history of awesome art to go back and look at.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I mean, you can adapt it. There's been good adapt.
Yeah.
The Last of Us. I mean, even the Harry Potter movies are decently adapted. Lord of the Rings is adapted really well.
Yeah.
I don't know why we can't take material that we have and you can modernize it. You can ground it. It's been successful in the MCU. They did the Infinity Saga well.
Yeah.
Captain America Winter Soldier was really good. But why can't we take this stuff and adapt it to accordingly what it should be?
Right. Like Vulture. They did a great job with Vulture.
They updated
Vulture. They gave him a story that
purpose, but he was
it's still essentially at its core the original Vulture. I mean, it's a guy that had a good idea and had his whole business stolen out from under him by somebody else, and I'm going to make you pay.
It's still Vulture.
What made it awesome, and it dealt with the goofiness and made it badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just opted and then flushed it into the MCU Infinity Saga.
Right. It had
Like
that
they kept
tiny,
all that
yeah,
grounded.
tiny
Yeah,
spot at the beginning where it's like the aftermath of this is why he got the crew, and this is why they're going to do these jobs, and then it gets
yeah.
taken
They
away from
introduced
him. I mean, they
he
just tied it
got
in
damage
so well,
control.
fleshed it out, made him a
Yeah,
villain that you care about. Um, and that's another example of like you were talking about, Fish. Like at the end of the day, you kind of still like feel for the guy. If you're a father, you feel for the dude. You're like, oh man,
Oh
I
yeah.
get it. That's what they could easily do with some of these other with these other
He
villains.
saw a
Like,
problem, he saw a need, he invested everything in making it better and making a better life for his family. And then you're just going to come take it all away so some rich dude can get richer and I'm
yeah,
going to lose everything. And the crew I just hired is going to lose everything. And yeah, I mean, you want to fight for that dude.
yeah,
And, does he go past the line a little bit? Yeah, but I might too if that was my family on the line. You can identify with him so easily.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Rhino in the other movie? No, I can't. I
That's
can't
what I'm saying.
identify.
Like they just, it's like it's just so hit and miss, and more times it's been missed,
That's
which is
true.
sad because there's just some really dope villains out there that they could do
Mhm.
right. But overall, Spider-Man villains, like we said, they're all in our top three rogues. There's some amazing, some honorable mentions maybe that we haven't mentioned yet on the show. Does anybody got any before we close out? There's just so many, and we've named a lot.
I'm trying to remember the second thing we said. What was the second thing?
Second thing, what? What do you mean?
Topic.
The
Impact,
second topic altogether for the day,
oh,
or the second,
superhero,
It was what?
yeah, superhero fatigue.
superhero.
fatigue, but we got 2 minutes
Does it
left. We
exist?
probably gonna get into that.
Lightning round. No,
Lightning round, superhero fatigue. Is it real or is it not? Here's my take on it, real quick. I'm gonna say I don't think necessarily that it is. I think that shitty movies being made are making people getting tired of going to movies to see superhero movies because they're making shit movies in the last year or so. There's been some really subpar movies when they've been giving us banger, banger, banger. Maybe that's just a little bit being spoiled. Maybe not. I don't know. That's my opinion. Go fish.
I think it's absolutely a problem because they're constantly putting out awesome movies like every couple of months. We don't have time to desire it. Like when we were young, we had to wait years for another Star Wars to come out, and we were dying for it. Now that there's one coming out every year, I don't really care. I'm not going to watch this show. I'm not going to watch that show because there's
Yeah.
another one coming right after it. I don't have the time to want it.
And you can be picky. You can be picky and choosy. Like, oh, Craven movie, I'm gonna probably not watch that because there's 3 Avengers coming out or whatever. You know what I mean? Yes, Ryan, go.
I concur with Fish. I do believe it does exist because of the fact that we're getting continuous same chrome dome movies. A lot of these movies have the same plot points too, which get kind of monotonous
Mm-hmm.
and boring. So it doesn't interest or piques people's interest at all too. And also, when you see really, really, it doesn't encapsulate you as it should because of sometimes you can't believe in the world if the work doesn't look like good either.
Right.
So people are not going to go see those movies either. So yeah, I do believe superhero fatigue does exist to a certain degree. I don't think Marvel's going to suffer in any shape, way, or form because people who have been part of the process since 2008 are going to go do or die and see those movies regardless.
For sure.
But for any other party making DC like movies like DC, all these other people who have had not as good success as the Marvel success, yeah, I don't think people are going to go look at those movies or want to be part of those movies. I'm wishing Gunn good luck.
All right, Fee, go.
Yep, superhero fatigue is definitely a thing. I agree with Uncle Fishy and Ryan, aka the originator blanket. And so I would definitely say when it comes to superhero fatigue, a lot of people it's just sensory overload, if it's something like you write a good story, it just have different elements to contribute to it other than having those same points. give the people what they want. If they want to see different things like that, why don't you just go with it? But because there's a lot of big executives making these decisions, they're going to continue to play with what they think is safe. That's the reason why we continue to see a lot of these things that can be very similar, because of the fact they know people will go out to see it just for the sake of going out to see it.
There you go.
And that's the problem.
There it is. So if the fatigue is so real, then why are people still going out to see
I was
these
just
movies?
fatigued talking about it.
You know? So there we go. Speed round on the second topic. Ryan, hope you're happy. We hit both your topics. You don't have to cry anymore.
But he will.
That is so rude.
Other than that, I don't have nothing else. Anybody else have anything else? No. Catch me tomorrow morning on What the Fig, early in the AM.
I thought it changed.
It changes next week.
Oh.
So we'll be on Saturday, and then we'll be on that Tuesday.
Well, good thing I know that now.
In a couple of weeks, a bunch of us are going to be in Atlanta at Urban NerdCon. Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to that. Get to hang out with Fee and all, and gonna get my hand on my copies of Green Zone 2 and 3. Gonna be slinging books. Might even have some issues of Cobb by then. So if y'all want to stop by and pick them up, get something drawn, come by and see Uncle Fishy. Hang out with the FSK crew.
Chill out and take
I'll be at Gym City in Dayton that weekend, holding it down for FSK. Me and Danny Cooper.
He's gonna be at the 18th annual Gym City Comic Con. So
where we're going to break the record of sales for FSK. I'm telling you, I'm claiming it. I'm putting it into existence.
There you go.
I plan on walking away with that show.
It's so funny. Where's Mike when you need him? Oh my god.
It's not. But here's the thing. It's not a.
No, it's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and I hope you hit it tenfold.
It's an everybody wins situation.
Yes. No, and I wish you the absolute best. I hope you obliterate the goal. Really.
So
I hope you smash it, but I'm gonna put up a good fight while we're in Atlanta.
I'm not. No. So my thing is this. I think that I think you guys will definitely have more sales than us. I'm trying to just beat Gym City from I'm trying to beat what Gym City has done for us. Mm-hmm. So I do think the Urban NerdCon will be a better show for sure. I'm actually a little salty that I'm not going, but
I am too. I wish you were going to be there. I get it.
We're holding down the other one, and I just want to beat those numbers.
I'll be at neither. I'll just be at Drink.
Oh, I'm gonna bring a blanket.
You're coming to Gym City. I haven't talked you into it yet, but you'll be there at least one day. You'll be hanging out with me and Danny. Don't play. Anyways, you guys keep rocking. Have a good weekend. Continue being a 5-star version of yourselves. And Uncle Fish, roll the outro, my friend. Ryan, go to sleep.